Hiya everyone. I'm sorry if you've got the dates mixed up, times mixed up with coming on tonight. I think I've seen some people there this morning coming on at 8 o'clock this morning, which I never go on of a morning. The only time I go on of a morning is Saturday mornings at 10:30 with the film and TV reviews. That's the only time I do a morning. I've always gone at this time. I've always gone at this time, and I'm sorry if you're. I'm sorry if you got the times mixed up. I'm just sorry. I'll just go to the likes of Nick Falvey this morning. Morning, Frank. See, Ali Danush from Romania. Morning. And Nick says, Frank, you're late. And Ali says, 9:23 is USA time. I don't know where that's come from. I said I'll be doing a special show tomorrow night. Last night on the football pod, and on Monday night on my history show. And I said it'll be 8 o'clock tonight, not in the morning. And I don't know where that came from. And Jay, how are you, Frank? Sure, everyone will join now. I doubt it. I doubt it. Because they'd be watching something else, or it could be out, or whatever. I just don't know. And Nick, so I think you're right, Jay. Hi, Frank. Hiya, Nick. I just read out your thing this morning. I don't know where it came from, that time. I really don't, because I always do. Only a Saturday morning, as I mentioned, the morning one, and that's the film and TV review. But I said tonight at 8 o'clock, because what I did say, I am doing a totally different show tonight, because I'm going to explain, as I said on my history show, for the first half hour or whatever, my experiences after the paranormal fella and a couple of other things that had happened to me while on my ventures abroad. So, if you just want to sit around and listen to me, I'll just say hello to all these wonderful people. Steve, you never walk. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. And Jason says, James, sorry. He says, yeah, they are. Of course they are. TW. Even in Frank, even in T. Steve, smash the likes, everyone. Thank you. No one's us. No one smashes anything. And I always keep forgetting to ask people to, subscribe. Always do, for some reason. I always do, which is, I don't know, albeit that it's up there, like and subscribe, whatever it is, subscribe. But that's me. That's me. Because I try to concentrate on things. But I should be saying that, to be honest, subscribe costs nothing. I don't ask for money. And I can't even go on Facebook anymore because I've been hacked and I've been banned. I'll tell you what I've been banned for. And it's incredible what I've been banned for. Fraud and deception. Hey, fraud and deception. Well, I was hacked, so it was the hacker. And I have an idea where these people come from who hack. They're always asking for money. And, so that's the fraud and deception. But Facebook won't, They won't listen to my side of the story, and they must know, surely to God, that I wouldn't defraud anybody. They've only got to look at, over the years, if I've ever asked for money in my life. I don't ask anyone for anything. I don't ask for money. I don't even ask for money. You get some pods where they're super chat and all that. I won't ask anyone for that. I will not ask for it because I think it's unfair. It's just me giving out, about football, for example. About football, like if this was a football thing, are we going to be signing Zuma Mendy? Are we going to sign him? You see what I mean? Are we going to sign it? I'd rather have Edison, I'm being honest. But he do me, that fella. Paul Turner. Good evening, Frank. Hope you had a good day. It was quiet. I always have quiet days. The Midnight Talker. Greetings. Greetings. Midnight. You weren't on last night, were you? Everyone was talking about you midnight. Nobody made. And the vlogs. Hello, Frank. Hiya, vlogs. Steve. I wish these hackers would hack into FSG bank accounts. They might find a few billion more than what they're saying, if you know what I mean. Unbelievable. Absolutely incredible. Really. MNX, aka J. He won't take a no for a throw money in your pocket. That's our Frank. Oh, thank you. That's nice though. Thank you. I don't ask anyone for anything. Never have done. Never will do. Gary Rigby. Hi, Frank and guests. I think I'm on my own tonight. I think I'm on my own. Man United's in for Edison, says the TW. Well, there you go. I just wish that I think we're sluggish, being honest. We're sluggish in the transfer market. And it's annoying people. And it's not only annoying people, but it's also got, how can I say this? It's also got people frustrated and angered. Honestly. And I wish these hackers would hack into my bank account, put some money in, says Steve. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Funny. And Gary says, sorry, Frank, never knew that I was going by the title. Oh, sorry, Frank, never knew that I was going by the title. But it is, I'll be talking something different in a few moments. Steve, Frank is a man of that is morals, principles, honour, respect. That's why he don't ask for money. Thank you. Thank you. But that's what I got done for. Well, not done, Why haven't they locked me up for, if for fraud or deceit? And the vlogs. You asked me yesterday when the film Smile 2 is released. It's on the 18th of. Stop! I don't want to be watching that. Got enough frightening things to think about. That was Paul Turner. if we're getting a midfielder in, then who is going to make up for this 50 or 60 million? Gomez, Cavallo, Phillips, Doak, and don't forget Endo as well, who's also mentioned in the Express. Hope that's not true. I like him. There you go. If you don't get the Spanish DM, the crap will hit the fan. Yes. And Jay says, my kids are hackers. My bank's empty. That's funny, that. Brilliant. Nice one, Paul. Can't wait for that. So listen, boys. I've got to tell you something. What I mentioned on the show the other night. Do you know what? A travel show would be good, Frank. Liverpool gets a lot of tourists these days. They're incredible. There's a certain fella who knows all about the history of Liverpool. Genuinely. And I want to see what he charges these people. And he knows about Liverpool. He's not even a historian. I've seen him, and I wasn't talking to him a lot. Someone will look at him, and he walked down the street in the city, and he never stopped once to point out things. Not once. He just walks straight through with his troop of people, and he charges a hell of a lot of money per head. And that's what I mean, we haven't a clue. When I bring people out, and when I brought them out, it's jaw dropping to them what I show, what I know. I get asked questions as well, which is irrelevant to what the talk's about. I get asked about Romans and everything. I get asked about the French Revolution, Russian Revolution. I get asked about everything. And I answer them. You know, so the American War of Independence, everything. The American Civil War. And these are all Liverpool connections, you know, by the way. Is there any connections with the French Revolution? Any Liverpool connections? Are there any connections with the American Civil War? So these are the type of questions. Did the Romans ever come to Liverpool? I answer, because I used to lecture about the Romans, Roman Britain, and the Roman Empire. Right, I'm going to the judge says, hey Frank, heard you mention the George Kelly injustice out of interest. Is the Cameo building still there, still standing? I think it is. Or there's houses around it. Or they are. I'm not quite so sure now. I'm being honest, Judge. I'm being honest. I'll tell you what I'll do with you. Not now. But I will do a Wednesday night. If you want. And I'll do the murders that I've done in St. George's Hall in the courtroom. I've actually done murders. Don't mean physically murdered anyone, but I've done murders in there. And there are some injustice. Terrible. But some very angry people who deserve their fate, so to speak. I'm talking about there's something here. Let me just, I'll get on to what the midnight says. Live stream tours of Liverpool, yeah. I'm doing something, I'm actually doing it now. and what I'm doing is absolutely amazing. You love it. Not now. Don't mean this minute. Don't mean this minute, but you will. You love it, and you love the images as well of Liverpool. Brilliant images, footage, footage. And I think Gary says it's not there anymore. That's obviously the cameo. And Gary says, if I get a tour guide of Liverpool and he's younger than me, or not, some of them are not, I don't, not from Liverpool, I don't want to know. So yours would be great, Frank. You know your stuff. Thank you. Thank you. So let me know on here that right now before I start what I'm going to do. Let me know. Just say yes or no. How would you like me to do a series of murder trials on here on a Wednesday night? Let me know, and I'll do them. Some that'll shock you, some that you don't know about. I'll do them. Just let me know. Tony Barton. Hiya, Tony. And he says, yeah. Oh, yeah. The tea. Yeah. Yeah. The vlogs. Yeah. So at Paul Taylor. Yeah. Oh, we got that. Sounds good. I'll do them then. I'll do it. I'll do one next week. Next Wednesday. I'll do a very famous one. Very famous one. And you come to your own conclusions. You come to your own conclusions. It might be famous to everybody, by the way. You might never heard of that. So I'll do it. I'll start it next week, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the evening, not in the morning. Still asleep. Still asleep. My tongue's a lot better, by the way. Couldn't talk. Again, I was brushing my teeth this morning, and it's an electric toothbrush, and I went on. Oh, it's still like if I go near it with something, it kills me. But I'm all right now. And the midnight toke. That's a good question. What did you lecture of, Frank, if you don't mind? No, certainly not. I've lectured in a variety of things. I've lectured about the Roman Empire and Roman Britain in particular. Roman Britain, from the AD 43 Claudian invasion. I've lectured all about not just the invasion, but as a progress going on. I've lectured about certain emperors. I've got favourite emperors, by the way. I've got favourite emperors. So I've lectured about them. I've lectured about Westward Enterprise. Westward Enterprise is all the explorers around the from say like Columbus, but I even go further back to the men from Bristol. No one's ever heard of these people, the men from Bristol, because there was a fish war going on, believe it or not, up by Iceland between Denmark and the English in 1470 and 1480. So there was murder. Because the Danes were saying, hey, you come off, you can't fish here. And they were chasing our fishermen. and they were trying to chase them back. So there was a Codswallop then. So by 1480, these fellas from Bristol went over. They sailed the Atlantic. They sailed the Atlantic, and they brought cod back. They pickled it obviously with salt. They brought cod back. They go, where did you get that? And other types of fish. And they reckon that they got to America, first. And they wouldn't tell anyone where they got it. He said, no, other fishermen will start going out in there. But they reckon they got there before Columbus, it's America. But the first fella ever to get to America, believe it or not, was St. Bede. St. Bede in the 17th century, 600s. St. Bede. And the first, like proper fella, if you like, was Eric the Red, the great Viking, Eric the Red, because Eric the Red was a great leader, but he was getting exiled from everywhere. He got exiled from Iceland, and listen, he couldn't do nothing to him because he was a big leader of his people. So they exiled him to England because he made it someone in Iceland and he made it someone in England. They exiled him back to Iceland, and he's done the same. So anyway, they exiled him and they just said you'll have to go west. And he went west, and he found he got to Canada, like what we know today as St. John's, Newfoundland, and went further in. And what he brought back, Eric the Red, was totems and arrowheads. And the arrowheads belonged to the indigenous native of America for hunting purposes. So, it's all things like that. But history is staged. They just want to, focus on one thing, the likes of Columbus, if you know what I mean. The likes of Columbus. So it's things like that. So, yeah, and I did that. Midnight, Westwood Enterprise, all great, the likes of Cook, the likes of Drake even, he was the first fella to circumnavigate the earth, the world. Drake. Great man. Great man. He really was. As a seafarer, I'm talking about, as a seafarer. So I did all that. The explorers, especially the Genoese fellas, Columbus and Cabato, Giovanni Cabato, who we anglicised the name into John Cabot, because he founded for us Nova Scotia for Henry VII. So it's things like that I lectured about. And also the French Revolution with Robespierre and Dayton, those two. So I did things like that. I did Napoleon, nothing at all to do with the French Revolution. So I did Napoleon. I did what was going on at the time in Europe. Obviously, you have the Battle of Waterloo and things like that. That came into focus through my lectures. The Russian Revolution, the English Civil War. I've done that loads of times. So these are all and things that was happening, by the way, as well. I've done things about the 1605 gunpowder plot because it became a specialist on that. Only through my research with Shakespeare. So it's things like that, it's, you know, this is where I was bloody studying. I studied for years and years to get these qualifications, you know. But so it's things like that. Became a specialist on Dickens, Charles Dickens, who loved Liverpool, by the way. Loved Liverpool. And don't forget, you know, we didn't speak like the way we speak now. We spoke like, say, someone from St Helens, southwest Lancashire accent. All right, there, you know. Oh, you know. You know, if they speak like that in St Helens. And Steve says, who made it JFK? Do a chat on that. I could always do a chat. I'll do a chat on Marilyn Monroe as well. A fine lady. She was a fine lady, to the contrary of what you hear and read about. Hi Frank, hope you're well, says the red bird. Hiya red bird. Hiya. And Neil Broderick. Started watching Last Kingdom. I was bored off. Oh, way. Bored off work, recovering. What was you recovering from? Anyway, around 4 p.m. I would go on a long walk a few times. I walked past some young lad and he nodded, okay, like he did. It's not a joke, is it? Anyway, this went on for a few weeks until I realised it was King Harold, actor David Dawson. I eventually said hello and told him we love the Lost Kingdom. That's nice. I like things like that. I really do. I really do. Maybe on this day in history type stream, seeming you're well educated on the matter. I'm a PhD. Educated on the matter. Thank you. Love that. I went to meet a farmer today up in Ribchester, only an hour drive to do metal detecting on this massive farm in the near future. Found out it's a Roman hotspot. So God, I was just going to say anything. You know, you said Ribchester. It's like Manchester, Colchester. You know, all these things about Chester that ending in Chester. Romans have been there, Chichester everywhere. And Chester, you know, was Diva, but, you know, it was Chester. They just retained the name, Manchester, Colchester, you know, they all retained the name. So the Romans were there. Good one. Look at the street names of Park Road, Dickens Street, yes. And the Bible streets as well. Even in Scotland Road, you know, where I came from, they had great poets like Ben Jonson. There was a Ben Jonson street. There was loads. Like Byron Street. You know, so there's all these wonderful things that, you know, gave us colour. The names. Chaucer House, Chaucer Street, Chaucer. Midnight the Talk, CIA. About Marilyn, and everyone else, to be honest, Midnight. The vlogs, Steve says, do a chat on how America and its Western allies made its African leaders so they could steal. They're doing it today. I'm going to talk about it later on. They're doing it today. Right now. Right now. Never forget the seeds of something that, is happening is sown long before. Always forget that, mate. Never forget that. Never forget that the seeds are well sown. The seeds are well sown. I always remember Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney. And going back before then, when Bush Senior, stopped, the Gulf War, and when Bush W, that dub, became president, I knew then that he would cause a war and to finish off what his dad didn't do, and that was to defeat Saddam Hussein. I said that then. So the seeds were well and truly sown for the Middle East. Well and truly sown to destabilise the Middle East. I'll talk about it later on air tonight. Tell you what I mean. Frank DiMaggio would be interesting stuff. One of the first sports superstars, yeah. And Steve says, Frank, do you know the music industry moguls order the murder of, yes, because they make more money, yeah, if they're dead. You've only got to look at Elvis. I'm not being funny with Elvis fans, but there's more made out of his death. Jay said, Frank, you were talking last night about 2 experiences. What were they? I'm going to tell them now. I'm going to tell you now. I'll just go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Steve, Frank, that. Oh yeah, I just said that. Yeah, sorry there. The story of Jonestown was a shocker, and the film is brilliant. Yes. The mass suicide. I'll tell you something now. You know what? All the explorers that I said I do. What's his name? Sir Walter Raleigh sent over a fella. He said, look, these Spanish are there. He said, get over there and see what they're up to in America. Let's put settlers there like they've done. Around the Florida way, settlements. He said, get over there. So anyway, he sent him over. And his daughter was pregnant at the time. So they landed. And the daughter was born. And they named her. What do you think? Now, as I said, they named the child Virginia, because as they thought, that was the first birth. So Virginia, yes. So it's named Virginia, like Virginia today. And they get to a place, and they named it Jamestown after James the First of England. Jamestown, and that was in a place called Roanoke. And they don't like talking about that. They like talking about William Bradford of 1620. Because when he got to the lake, he was blown off course from going on the way to Virginia, and he landed at Cape Cod, what we know today as Cape Cod. It's too much story to go into. But why do you ignore these Virginians, first Virginians, is that they turn to cannibalism, and they don't like talking about it. the Americans. That's why, they always go on about, the following year when they had the big bounty, Thanksgiving. But it wasn't their crops. It wasn't their crops. It was the indigenous Native American, the Indians. It was their crops. You get much about that, do you? Anyway, look, I love to. And Rush is on the far side. Yeah, that's cup final, wasn't it? The ball over, bang, get in. 3-1. Yes. Right there, Frank, lad. Don't listen about Zumendi crap. It's ball spin from. I was talking to Steve Evans. He doesn't know him, doesn't he? I was talking to him half an hour before I went on, and we said the same spin. If we spun like those owners, we'd be all dizzy. But you get fans saying, here's what you get fans saying. At least we went after someone. They done it every year. Every single year they do it. Going after someone. As I said, Casino last year. Who was it the year before? Bellingham. Who was the year before? Shoemaker. Well, we went after them, though, didn't we? No, we didn't. It was all spin. Load of bollocks. Look, I've got to talk. I've been on here for ages now. I've got to tell you my experiences because I had a paranormal fella on. I had a paranormal fella on the history show the other night, and we were just chatting. And I just sneaked a little question into him. I said, does anything like that attract you? He was talking about spirits and things. He's a ghost hunter. And he said, yeah, I'm attracted. I attract them. Because there's people like that these, you get psychics, people say, oh, they're all phony then, but they're not all phony. So you get psychics. You get the likes of these people, they are really like these ghost hunters. And they do see things. Now don't forget, the likes of these spirits are restless. Restless. And okay, I'll give you an example, right? And Tom Slemon asked me, he said, hey Frank, two things that happened to me. He said, would you talk about them? I went, no. I said, no. Wanted to write about them, use my name. I said, no. I'm sorry I'll have to take this. Pete? Pete, I'm actually on air. I'm live on air. I'm live now on air. I'm talking to, I'm broadcasting. Yeah, ring me back tomorrow. Listen, Pete, yeah, ring me back tomorrow, okay, please. Try and ring me in the morning. Cheers, Pete. Bye now. Bye. you talk to people today, and I said I'm broadcasting tonight. What time? 8 o'clock. Lovely fella. Lovely fella. But I don't think anything, once it goes in the ear, it doesn't stay. It just goes out the other ear after a while, unfortunately. As the vlog said. Perfect silence talking about ghosts. Oh, unbelievable. But anyway, yeah, look, sounds like an old phone, but it's a mobile. Of course, I only have that, the ringtone. I don't have any of all these other ringtone things, just like the old one. So anyway, Daryl, I'm doing this. I lost my train of bloody thought. Oh yeah, but it was. What was it? Listen, I lost my train of thought because. Okay, I'll start now. I'm sorry about that because once you're on a once you're talking about something fucking stupid happens like that, and you lose track. Anyway, oh yeah, Tom Slemon, thank you, vlogs. Tom Slemon, and he said, "Can I use that?" I said, "No." And then another time, he said, "No." I said, "No, you're not using that either." He said, "Ah, okay." And Tom kept to his word. He kept to his word. He didn't. So here's what happened. I was going through France. I was going through. Shall I talk about that one, or shall I? A couple of things happened to me in St. George's Hall. Okay, a couple of things when I had people with me. When I had people with me, and even Tony Snell doing something there. Tony and I. But anyway, we were. I was. Let me talk about France first. I was. I got a lift. I was on my way to Strasbourg. I was going to see Deborah. She was working. She's an international telephonist, and she was working there. No, she wasn't. She was working in Germany, but I was trying to get to Strasbourg because I had like something, get to this place, and it'll bring me right to Stuttgart, by where our Debs was working. So anyway, big adventure to me. Decides to get a lift, from here, Liverpool. This, do you know up by the by Kirby there used to be a cafe where the lorry drivers used to go. And went in for a cup of tea. I said, "Is anyone going over to where?" And this fellow went, "Yeah, I am. Give you the lift." I went, "Where are you?" He said, "Yeah, France," I said. So we had my passport, everything. And anyway, we went to a cracking fella he was. A cracking fella. But he said to me, "Listen," he said, "I'm not going now, I'm going in the morning." He said, "And I'm going early in the morning." So I went, okay, I'll go there. Brilliant. What time are you going? And he said, "I'll be leaving here at 5 o'clock. If you can get here for 5 o'clock." And he was staying somewhere. So I went home, stayed, got back, and I was there for 4:30. And it was horrible. It was cold, pitch black. And I was going, "What lorry is it?" Anyway, he came over to me because he just seen this stupid fella, but bobbing around, young fella. He said, was I talking to you? Yeah, I said, yeah, it's me. He said, come on, let's go. And we went, and he dropped me off, went through, gets over there. Went on a boat, by the way. I don't think the tunnel was open then. Went on a boat. Gets there, and we're going right down. And he said, look, he said, I'll have to drop you off here. I do it right. He said, and your best bet is to go straight down there. You'll easily get a lift. He said, just go straight down. I said, oh, okay, mate, thank you so much. Yeah. So he said, that's your best way to Stuttgart, and you will. There's a big motorway there. You'll easily get a lift. He said to Strasbourg. So I said, okay. So I walked down. And I was walking for hours. And I mean hours. Because the previous year, I had a terrible experience in Devon when I was itching to Torquay to work the season. When this fella dropped me off, and he said, yeah, you've only got to stay there or walk down. He said, Torquay's that way. Just like that fella in there, France. And as I was walking down, all of a sudden it went pitch black. I didn't know where I was. It was pitch black. And I looked around because I seen like lights there. And I turned around and there was this car coming up. Now, what had happened just before this, as I was walking, I could hear like footprints, in the grass and like dead leaves or whatever they were. And I went, oh, fuck this. I was terrified. I really was. And anyway, I did this car and I jumped out in the middle of the road. Good job he had his headlights. And he stopped. He said, what are you doing? I said, listen, I've been walking for ages. I said, it's pitch black. I don't know where I am. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm on my way to Torquay. And he looked at me. He said, hey, I'll jump in. Because he had like another sack. And I threw it in the back, got in the front, and he went, and he dropped me off. And that frightened me, that. It was pitch black. Footprints, footsteps. You could hear. And little animal noises, by the way, not just that. So that frightened me. Because it was on the bloody moors. It was on the bloody Devon moors. That's where it was. Anyway, in France, all that came back to me. And I went, it's going to be dark. I haven't a fucking clue where I am because there was big edge roads. Walking down. Nothing. There was nothing there. I was trying to jump up and look over. There was nothing. It was all flat. And I went, oh, fucking hell, I was really nervous. Really. So then I was walking down and I started praying because, you don't know what France is. It's a huge country. And I knew about France. It's huge. And what was going on at the time was robberies on trains and coaches. And anyone, there's lots of robberies. And I'm talking about villains. Just grabbing you and robbing you. I went, oh, for fuck's sake, this. And I couldn't turn around because I'd been walking for miles. Nothing came past me. Nothing. So I started praying. I said, oh, please, God. saying the Our Father and the Hail Mary and whatever. I said, please help me. Please. I'm talking about a car to come past. Because if the car was coming in the opposite way that I was walking, I would have just jumped in there. I'd be off at the nearest town if they were going to a town. Anyway, I was going, please God, please God. And I was going around them, don't take this literally. I was going around a bend, because it was dead straight. Then all of a sudden it came to like a bend. And I go, please God, please God. And all of a sudden, as I was walking, turned into this like other straight piece from the bend. There was this gentleman walking up. And he had a white hat on, one of them straw hats, very smart. He had a very light jacket on, a shirt, cravat, and he had a walking stick, light trousers, brown shoes, very light tan shoes, and he was walking up, and I went in my best French, parlez-vous anglais? I just said bonjour, parlez-vous anglais, monsieur? And he said, yes. And I said, I'm lost. I said, and I'm worried. I'm really worried. And I explained where I wanted to get to, this particular, I forget the trunk road or this road that the driver gave me. Fucking flies just flew past me. A fly, where did that come from? Oh, I got it. No. Hate flies. Hate them. Oh, fucking hate flies. I must. Anyway, sorry about this. Just hate flies. So anyway, and he said, don't be worrying. He said, don't be worrying. My daughter will help. And I went, oh, I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, no problem. He said, just go down there. He said, and where the edges are, he said, you'll find a little gap. You'll find a little gap. Just go through there. And then look down and you'll see my home. So I said, you sure? He said, yeah. I said, do you want to come back with me? He said, no. You'll be all right. My daughter will look after you. Just tell her where you want to go. So I said, okay. And anyway, I said, thank you. You know the way you relieved. This is off your shoulder. So anyway, I started to walk down, and I went, oh fuck. I always, when I meet people, I shake their hand. Always have done. Always will do. And I went, oh, and I turned around. And the Benz was there. And as I turned around to say thank you and, shake my hand, it gone around the bend. And I went, oh. So I seen the house on top of this thing, and I looked down, went down, looked at the door. But it wasn't a door, it was one of them pulley things, you pull and they ring the bell. This lady, about 5 minutes, I was going to get off. I thought no one was in. I was going to get off, and the next performance was the door opened, and there was this young lady. And she was older than me at the time, I was only a younger lad. And I explained about meeting this gentleman, and she said, one moment. And she made me stand there, and she closed the door. 5 minutes later, she came, and it must have been the mother. And the door opened, and she said, just step in. And I explained to the mother, perfect English, these two people. So I explained. And she had her hand behind her back. Now, here's me. I'm dressed in like a bomber jacket, if you like. Jeans. I had a pair of boots on that I had my jeans tucked in. Like workers' boots. And standing there. Long hair. Black beard. Always had a beard. And she got like that. Is he there? On the photograph. I went, yeah, that's the gentleman. Did you just see him sitting there with his family around him? And the lady, his mother, her mother, sitting there next to him. I said, yeah, and that walking stick, he had that walking stick. Because what was so distinctive about the walking stick, it had a deer's head with big antlers, silver. I said, he had that. To cut a long story short, he'd been dead for 10 years, and he always went out at that time of day for an afternoon walk into the evening, and then back again. It's that fucking fly. Never caught it. So that's that. That's that story. A little paranormal thing. And then the experiences I had in St. George's Hall was between the April and the September. I was asked by St. George's Hall to give a series of lectures in the criminal court to people. They said they were going to open us up because it was all shut down, not properly. They were waiting for the workers to go into refurbish it, what you see today. It's the time of the refurbishment. They said, will you go in? So I went in twice a week on a Tuesday and on a Thursday. And I said, on a condition. They said, what's that? I said, can I bring people around? Show them, the hall. I said, because most of them I haven't seen, but he said, yeah, no problem. I said, that'll do me. So I did. So I gave a series of lectures. And I used to bring the people around. And this day, I used to bring them down into the cell. This is before you could go into the cells today. This is long before. And I used to go like down the stairs and into the holding cell. And I used to say, just sit there and bring us down. Health and safety, and because there was work stuff down there ready for those workers to go and do things, I said, so I have to go down. Now this door was very flimsy, just open like that. Very flimsy it was. So this day, I'm talking about, and I'll do it, I will do this murder. I will do it. And it was about a fella, and he got hanged. And I won't tell you if he was notorious or whatever. I won't tell you. So I'm standing there talking to the people, and I said, after the talk about this particular trial, I said, how would you like to see the holding cell? They all went, yeah, it's okay. Please. So I said, listen, just still sit there. I said, please, because I have to go down there, health and safety, and make sure that everything's all right. because that was the only thing that was said to me. As long as everywhere where you're going to take them health and safety, everything's okay, where they can stand or sit. I said, okay. So we went down this time. And as he gets down there, I went to open this flimsy door. And all it had was a piece of string. That's all it was, a piece of string, to open it because it was that flimsy. So I went like that, and it wouldn't open. It opened about that much, just like that, about that much. And I looked in, and do you know the way you look and still has hold of a piece of string, pulling it. And I thought, what the fuck? And there was no light on. So I had to light it, and I lit the light it. And there was nothing there, as far as I could see, through the crack of the door. And so anyway, I let it go. And I said, there must be something underneath, stopping from opening. So I pulled it. Again, nothing. And then I looked on the floor, got my light out again because it was dark. So anyway, lit the light there. Went along, nothing there. Looked inside on the floor there as well to see if but if I'm pulling it this way, the wedge would be on my side. I thought, what is this? So then I just stood back and I wrapped my hand around this piece of string and I pulled it. And it was pulling back. It was pulling back. And I went, I'm off. And I shot up the stairs. And this fella who was sitting there, he said, Brian, it looks like you're seeing a ghost there, Frank. And it must have been the expression on my face. And I said, listen, I can't go down there. It's weird. That's all I said to them. Albeit I've been down loads of times before with other people. So there was one young fella in there, about 19, 20. About 19 or 20. And he went, I'll go. I said, no, couldn't stay here. You're not going down. I said, health and safety. But he was dead quick, this kid. He shot down. I tried to grab him, like before he ran down. Tried to grab him. And within less than 10 seconds, that fella, that kid, ran up the stairs and ran out. Ran out. Right out. Never seen him again. Never seen that lad again. Because I was asking some of the workers, the lads who already worked in there. And I said, did you see a young lad? He said, no. I said, did you see him coming in? He said, yeah, I've seen him coming in, but I've never seen him running out. Until one fella said, yeah, he just went right through the door. And I was shouting, don't be going out there. He said he just ran out. Onto the plateau end, that is. The side doors where all the steps are. Where the Earl of Beaconsfield statue is, them steps. He ran out at one of them side doors there. Never seen him again. That was one experience. The last experience, which I'll talk about, and then I'll start doing the usual, is this. And again, it was in St. George's Hall. And I had these people, it wasn't during that time, by the way. So I had these people, and I was down by where the St. George's Hall had the very first air conditioning system in the entire world. Entire world. Scottish fella, Scottish engineer put it in. Said, you know, do you fancy this? We'll have a go at that. So anyway, we put it down, first air conditioning system in the world. So I'm down in the basement, you know, the bowels of it, and I have these people. Now, I was told, you know, I don't know where I was told, but I was always told that you see workmen down there. So I always thought, oh, you see the workmen, you see them all over the place, if you know what I mean. Goes down. Now I'm talking to these people because you see the tunnels, the big arches, you know, that leads over to the Lime Street station. These big tunnels, not tunnels, you know, big arches. And so anyway, I'm talking to the people. Now as I'm talking, you know, they're facing me like that. And my back is to the arches, so they're talking to me. And the heads just go, turn, and then back to me. And then they turn again, and then back to me. As I'm talking away, I just wanted to talk over with, you know. So anyway, I went like that. Pay attention. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. And one of them said, oh, yeah, they're only looking at the workers over there. Now, I took no notice of that. I really didn't. I just took no notice. I said, yeah, all right. So I finished off my talk. I said, come on, let's go. So I turned around to look by the tunnel, tunnels, by the arches to see if they were still there. You know, the workers. Because I was going to shout over, thanks for the distraction. But they weren't there. We get up, you know, we get up into the main hall. And get in, they all enjoyed it and everything else. And I said to one of the workers there, I said, who's working down there, digging? And he went, did you see them? To me? I said, no. I said, but the people did. He went, they're seen. They're not workers. They come from the past. It's haunted. True that. And those people who came on there, they all went, we say they go. The two ghosts. Because they described them. They were in like shirts with handkerchiefs around their neck. And these shovels. And it was like Victorian clothing. They were in. How about that? So there's those two things. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's see what you say. Hey, Frank, one of those fly zappers from Oldberg, they are boss. You can play fly tennis. What are you? Oh, fly swatters. I might get one of them. I hate flies. I don't know where they come from. Must have sneaked in. The vlogs. Oh, sad that I'd have been gone myself. Oh, sad that I would have been gone myself. Everything is going on now, Frank. World's over. Now, good people have no rights and criminals have everything. There is no more respect or character. The system will destroy everything. It's a man-made system. It's a man-made system. It's what you call the World Economic Forum. They want to control you and everyone on the planet. That's why it's the American base, you know, European base. They're called globalists. What you call globalists. And it's all based on greed and to control you and me all over. I just want to say something, says Ali. What happens with Leeds with the Romanians if they live here doesn't mean they are Romanians. Just want English people to know that. I know, and I know what you're talking about the Romani people. I know about that. And they've always been portrayed as thieves, vagabonds. And if you read a book called, it's a great book by the way, by George Eliot called Silas Marner. He portrayed this fella as a gypsy, a Romany gypsy. And they're trying to blame him. But they just made it up. They made the story up. Brilliant the way they made it up, by the way, if you know what I mean. It was great. Oh, this fella, he had sallow skin. And another one said, oh, yeah, jet black curly hair, wavy curly hair. And another person said, oh, and he has a red handkerchief, handkerchief around his neck. Another fella said, and this kind of shit. And it was only what the Romanies wore. But you're right, Ali. All Romanians are not like that. They're just ordinary, hard-working people in Romania, trying to do the best they can. But I understand, and they get a bad name, unfortunately. Well, I tell them, Ali, as well, take no notice of narrative. Paul said, that's spooky. I've always wanted to go into St. George's Hall. I'm not so sure now after that. Paul, it's brilliant, mate. The history behind it is unbelievable. The history behind it is unbelievable. Really enjoyed them, Frank. Wow, says the vlogs. One time I was in the basement when it was first open to the public, and we caught orbs on the video at the time. Yeah. I've had some frightening things in there. Me and Tony Snell. We went into a place where no one ever gets into. And this is at St. George's Hall. And anyway, we went in. And he had a big arc light. Anyone ever sees Tony, just ask. And the next, I'm talking because we got into a place what that was. Look, it was a hospital. The site of St. George's Hall was a hospital. I don't know whether you're aware of that. And it was the first type of hospital, like the Royal Infirmary. So it was an infirmary. Anyway, it became then an asylum. And I don't like using the words lunatics, but that's what it became, a lunatic asylum, like Bedlam, for example. And anyway, we were down there and we were looking at some of these things, well past by the cells, below them, if you've been in the cells. And we were below them. And this is where the lunatics were kept. Pitch black. If you have no, and we have one powerful argument. And saying, look at this cell, this was a cell. I said, just imagine, this is serious, just imagine if the lights went out, you wouldn't be able to see anything. Anything. So we're talking away with the arc light out. We couldn't see a thing. And Tony said, "Have you got your lighter on you?" And I went, "Yeah." And I was shaking, so fumbling, for my lighter. And it was frightening. And we inquired, I let me lighter, and manoeuvred our way out. And we asked about the arc light going out. They said it wasn't us. It was something else. Because I was talking about certain people there. It was frightening. Even Tony was frightened. It was frightening. It was horrible. It was really horrible. Because you couldn't see it. You couldn't see a thing. Pitch black. And those people were thrown in there. And there were people thrown in, and they weren't even, there was nothing wrong with them. And I'm talking about men, women, and children. And they were thrown in there. And in the pitch black, as you can imagine them with the lamps, being forced in. And then the lamps just go. And you're in pitch black. Whether it's day or night. Think about that. You would become a lunatic. Especially with vermin running around you as well. Horrible. Horrible. So anyway, what I want to talk about is this. You see a map of the world. Yeah, the best I can. There's America. America. Oh, let's see this one. This is America. It's around coordination. That's America. Right? That's all America. There. All America. There's South America. Here. Right? Now, I'm just going to give you an example of this. Venezuela had an election the weekend before last. President Maduro, who's won the last two elections. Now, his last election, America tried to overturn his election result. And then they tried to, I forget his name, they tried to put this other fella in as a president, and he was always on the telly, especially on American telly. And the people were, get off. Who are you? Get away. And anyway, so that never worked. So this election, this third one, all democratically elected, they were elections, it was democracy. And America screamed out for democracy and freedom of speech and all this. America. So the next day, after he won it, after a few hours of him winning it, the results coming through that he'd won, this President Maduro, Anthony Blinken came out from the White House and said it was rigged. It was rigged. See what I mean? That's just an example. And he said that the real president is a fella named Gonzalez, and no one knows. The ordinary people say, we don't know him, who is he? We don't know him. And this is what America do. It's what you call regime change. They do it everywhere. Remember when I said about when George Bush Sr. was, president, and he went into the first Gulf War, if you don't remember what it was that Iraq had invaded Kuwait. Now, why would you think he went into Kuwait? Has anybody ever thought it? Did he just want a war with them? And people don't realise there's always something behind it. It's like the Romans. Like the Romans, when they went to invade a country, they never just walked in, you know. They always had a motive, a reason. Like a fella here named Verica. These two fellas, he was a client kingdom in England. Verica. He was British, you know, he was British. He wasn't Roman, Verica. And these lads named Togodopmus and Karaticus, two English, you know, Brits, ancient Brits. They wanted to take over the tribe. And they did. So he went from his tribe right over to Rome and said, can you help me out? So that gave the motive for Claudius in AD 43 to invade this country. So that's just an example. You always have to have a motive to go in. Always. So what was the motive for them? What's the motive for America? No motive. They don't have any motives at all. If you're an enemy, or if they see you as an enemy, they will go in and bomb you. If they can't regime change. They did it in 1999 to Serbia. They went in and bombed Serbia. For nothing. Because they wouldn't comply to them. You've got a fella by the name of Viktor Orban. He's the Hungarian president. The Hungarian president. And he's the only one, him and the Slovakian president, who want peace. They've been going everywhere for peace. They've been to the little green man in the green t-shirt, Zelensky, a puppet for America. He's not even a president. He banned elections in their own. Fuck off. He bans elections in America, in Ukraine, because he knew that he would have been voted out. I'm talking about this year. So we banned them. So really, with the Ukrainian constitution, he's not even a leader. He's not even an elected leader. And you see the narrative from the West, and he's going everywhere. Little green t-shirt on. And he shouldn't be there. It's like me. Just going down to 10 Downing Street and saying, listen, I'm the new leader now. They don't want you to start me. And everybody, Frank's great. He's the new Prime Minister. Do you see what I mean? Without being elected. You've got Brussels, von der Leyen, Ursula von der Leyen, non-elected. All these bureaucrats telling Europe what to do. You, me, and everybody else. So anyway, you know, people say about Russia and the Ukrainian war. And the Ukrainian war you've got to understand that you've got to understand that Russia were trying to tell the West. This is. Do you ever remember? Yeah, I'll tell you something. This is why seeds are always sown. Do you ever remember the G? Do you ever remember the G8? The G8 included Russia. Now, can anybody tell me why all of a sudden the next yearly or annual G8 summit had no Russia in? They banned Russia. Can anybody tell me why? Then it was just called the G7. And that's when the seed started. When NATO was expanding, let me show you this. Right. When NATO was expanding, NATO, the abbreviation, it's how to define it as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That's what it's called. And look where it's expanded. It's expanded everywhere. Not just the North Atlantic, which is here. It's the North Atlantic here, look. That's where they should be, just there. Not here, the Med. Not here, all around here. Not here, not down the Suez. They're everywhere. They're in the South China Seas. Why are they there? Why are they in the South China Seas? Why are they there? Why in the Australasian Seas? Why are they there? Why are they in the Pacific if it's the North Atlantic? This is NATO. But they're not only in the seas, they're also in the countries. All Europe. So Putin said, well, it wasn't Putin really. It was going back when the wall came down in 1989. And it was Gorbachev. And he said to Ronald Reagan, he said, listen, he said, you won't go any further with NATO, will you? He said, not 1 inch. We will go no further, not 1 inch. This was in Germany. So the wall came down. So Germany, East Germany, that became part of West Germany, now was full of NATO. Then all of a sudden, everywhere started to become part of NATO. Except the Arab countries. So you had to destabilize the Arab countries, didn't you? So the plan was to destabilize the whole of the Middle East, all around here, all around here. It's all the Middle East here. Let me just take this one, please. I'll show you what I mean. Look, all around here. Look at it. Look, including here, Egypt, all around here, all around. That's all, including Turkey, by the way. It's all the Middle East. It's all the Middle East. So they'd love the Red Sea, you see, the Americans, the West. See. That's why they're always friendly with the Saudis and Egypt. And there's your Suez Canal just there. The Suez Canal that just goes right into. These are all trade routes. Quickest way to get there. And you're out everywhere. So you have destabilized the Middle East. Destabilize it. and will set Europe on alert. And what I mean by alert is what we're seeing today. What we're seeing today. So George W. Bush now, he decides that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. So he got Hans Blix to look for them. Hans Blix said, there's none here, there's none there, there's nothing. And there's a fellow named Scott Ritter. He was a weapons inspector, and he was American. And he was saying, there's none here. But it was an excuse. So he said, there is. He got Blair on his side, Bush. And Blair's legacy was in total ruin. Well, it's in total ruins now. By going in with him, by going into Parliament and saying, you know, we've got 3 seconds and all that garbage. You had Colin Powell with a little test tube like that, going like that. This is whatever it was, anthrax or something like that. And this is what they've got. Like that he was, shaking it. And it was washing up powder or something. He was lying, Colin Powell. So that gave them the thing to go in March 2003, in 2003, to go in. And he destroyed Iraq. 1 million people were killed through it. Is anyone else accountable? No. Then they know that the weapons of mass destruction was debunked anyway. So they went in there. They go into Afghanistan. He'd already been in Afghanistan. What were they doing there? Why were they there? Can anyone tell me why they were there? Then he goes into Syria and started bombing them to get rid of Bashar Assad. And they're still there today, illegally stealing their oil. If you knew, or if you don't know, I'm telling you now, they're still there. Iraq want them out. Iraq, they want them out. The Syrians want them out. The whole of the Middle East want them out. So now you've got Iran. They've always wanted a war with Iran. Does anybody ever remember why they wanted a war with Iran? Well, it goes back to 1976, when the hostages, the American hostages in Iraq, after Ayatollah Khomeini, overthrew the Shah, then they had the American hostages, and they were humiliated, the Americans. They've always been hated ever since then. And they've got resources, by the way. They've got resources. So why do you think they want Ukraine, right? I'll tell you for why. Or why did it start in Ukraine? Well, you had, as I said, Gorbachev was promised that they wouldn't move forward, but they did. They just went eastward, all around. It's surrounded. NATO has surrounded Russia. And they really thought that they could take on Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine had the biggest army in the whole of Europe. And they were all NATO trained. And from like 2008, you had what you call the Minsk Accord. And it was a promise that NATO wouldn't go into Ukraine. But even Angela Merkel, whatever her bloody name is, she said it was phony after she retired from being Chancellor of Germany, and it was just time to upgrade the Ukrainian army to take on Russia, because they knew Russia would start. And Putin was saying, listen, there are people, Ukrainian people, this is what people, President, they were saying, Ukrainian people are killing each other. There's a civil war, but it's an unfair civil war because there's Russian-speaking people who are being shelled. This is right after the 2014 Maidan coup d'etat, the coup d'etat led by America, led by Victoria Nuland and the CIA. You don't know who Victoria Nuland is, look her up. She's a war hawk, hates Russia, hates them with a passion, hates them. She's even quoted saying, if you don't hate Russia, you're a traitor. This is to the American people. So Putin was saying, listen, people are dying. They're being shelled. Do something about it, or I will. This is in 2014, he's been saying it to Russian-speaking people. Schools ban children from being taught Russian and Russian history or whatever, literature, whatever, the arts of Russia. Everything Russian was banned. Very lately, the last year or so, Russian churches, Russian Orthodox churches have been desecrated and priests imprisoned. When Zelensky became president, what he did, he got all his opposition and threw them in jail. All the newspapers, television companies who opposed them, jailed, stopped them all, stopped everything. Everything he stopped. And there you get Biden and the rest of them saying he only wants freedom and democracy. Not one Western newspaper to come out and say, what democracy? It's just jails all his opposition. He's desecrating Russian Orthodox churches, Christian churches. Where's the democracy there? Where's the democracy? And he's sending young lads to the certain debts, because in February 2022, Putin turned around and said, I'm going to give you a last chance. We'll go into here to stop this. We will go into Ukraine. And they dared them because they really thought that Ukraine, led by NATO obviously, would take them on and defeat them. Now, where's the reason someone, and it only came out a few weeks ago, and it was a war hawk named, he was Senator Lindsey Graham, and he came out and he slipped up in an interview, and he said, there's lots of resources in Ukraine worth $14 trillion. There's the thing. There it is. There's the excuse. That's the motive. And they really thought they could take Russia on. And they can't. They really thought it. Now you're having all the Middle East. And we're on the precipice of a nuclear war. A nuclear war. Because there's Netanyahu, no matter how you look at Gaza, it's shocking. It's shocking. Bombing tents. I don't know if anyone ever seen anything on. I watch alternative. I really do. And I seen this little girl, filthy, in Gaza, filthy. She must have been about 3. Black curly hair. And she was just wandering about. No parents, no siblings, no nothing. This little girl, barefoot, wandering about, this beautiful looking little girl. Filthy. And someone, she must have been naked, obviously naked, if you know what I mean. Because someone must have found, this dress to put on it, whoever it was, and put this dress on it. Do you know what it was? It was from the thing, Frozen. That kids, my granddaughter loved Frozen. She used to sing it, the song, as a child. And she's got one of the, I'd love to show you the picture. She's got one of the little princesses things dressed up. And she's walking around in this Frozen dress, dirty it was as well. And she's just walking around. And she was nicknamed the princess. That child, this little princess with a Frozen costume is dead. Dead. And that's what's going on. That's what's going on today. And you have the escalation. The escalation keeps going on and on and on and on. America can easily stop this by just saying to Netanyahu, we're not going to give you any more weapons or anything. They attacked Tehran last week and killed a leader of Hamas. Don't get me wrong, I'm not supporting Hamas or anything. I'm just saying they killed the leader in Tehran to escalate. They want Iran to go to war, to retaliate, because they know that America will go in and that'll kick off all the Middle East. But the Netanyahu wants that. He wants it because jail's waiting for him. Jail. And I couldn't believe what I've just said about that little princess. But there's 30,000 other little princesses and little princes who have been killed. Think about it. And he was given a standing ovation in Congress, the American Congress. If that was to be anybody else, he would have been arrested for war crimes. Just imagine, say Macron, for example. He did that exactly the same as what Netanyahu is doing. Say he's doing it in Algeria, Macron. Just doing it because that was French, wasn't it? Colonialism. Right? And he was doing it in Algeria. Exactly the same. He'd be arrested and put on a trial at The Hague. That's what I'm saying. But because it's Israel, You know, everything was about anti-Semitism, wasn't it? Months ago, last year, anti-Semitism this, anti-Semitism that. If you said anything, but now it's these Zionists, and the way it's gone now with the control of you and me and everybody else. You know, you're just seeing on the news these these violent people and riots, and they're saying enough's enough because of the migration. But that was all planned to set all these things to destabilize the Middle East. And where are they all from? Where are these people from? These migrants? They're all coming from the Middle East and spreading throughout Europe. Everybody's saying it. The Spain is saying it. Italy is saying it. The French is. Everybody's saying it. We're saying it. This country, we've had enough of this. All these migrants, and this is why I don't agree with any violence whatsoever. But when you look at the situation, it's all controlled. It's controlled. Now you can't say anything. Freedom of speech is gone. It went last year now. Freedom of speech. Because you're either called a racist or an anti-Semitic or anything else, calling me anyone. Look at me. Banned. And it wasn't me. Banned off Facebook. For fraud and deceit. See what I mean? They can control you. They can control you. I was with my mate. I forget where we were going. And he's driving along. And he went, "What do you think that is?" I said, "It's a street lamp. It's lovely, that, isn't it? A nice street lamp." He said, "No." And he said, "Keep on looking for them." So there was loads of them everywhere. And they were top of the range CCTV cameras. That if you look at me like that, I'm clear. That's how good they are. And you've got to now the identity cards will be coming out. You mark my words, they'll be coming out soon. It's all controlled. You won't be able to say anything anymore. I'm not just saying about violent gangs in this country, but the way it is, I'm just watching something on there. And what they showed, they're editing it quite a lot. Because you see like a lad with a samurai sword. I'm not telling you that, like, well, what kind of a person he was. A samurai sword. But that was edited out of a news item. It was, looking at this fella. He's good, this fella. He said, "Yeah, that's been edited. This should have been, look." And you see, again, reporter talking, there's all problems going on. And this fella rides up to her right behind her on a motorbike. And starts shouting at her. And that was edited. So you see, there's no balance. That's all I'm saying about the matter. There's no balance. There's loads of things edited. This fella was going on. Anyway, that's it about the Middle East. There's a lot to get through with the Middle East. There's a lot to think about. There really is. I'm not just saying that. I'm just not. I don't make things up, to be honest. And about what you call a special military operation. The special military operation. Yeah, look. IBR star Victoria Newland as demonicized. At least he knows her. She is one. I'll tell you who else. Hillary Clinton. There's another girl by the name of Yellen. These are all warmongers. Women, warmongers. These want the destruction of Russia. When Yeltsin, Boris Yeltsin was president of Russia, he invited Americans in. We and the Americans were first in, and you're not going to believe this. We went in, the British, to fix the telecoms. How many spy devices was going in? Yeah, Yeltsin was in it. I put them in everywhere. British Telecom. America sent in McDonald's. Brilliant ploy. You mightn't think so. And Coca-Cola. Brilliant ploy. And they sent in my mate, when he was at college in the early 80s, he surprised me actually. His college, he's a former colleague of mine, teaching IT. And his school went over, his college, to the Soviet Union, to Moscow. In 81 or 2. And I went, go away. He said, yeah. He said, you know what? He said, they wanted me shit, especially my jeans. They wanted me jeans. I brought 2 pairs over, obviously. Because I went for a week. He said, but that's what they wanted, me jeans. And a couple of shirts that I wore. He said, I gave one to, the receptionist. He said he was a smashing fella, spoke English. And he said, yeah, if they fit you can have them. And they fitted them. He said they didn't really, he said, but he made them fit. And so, that's what they were. So they sent in the jeans. Levi Strauss and Wrangler, the jeans. You think about it. You think about McDonald's. You think about Coca. I know it sounds mad like, but it's true. And jeans and all the other American stuff and all Western stuff. The likes of, Ralph Lauren and Lacoste and you name it, Giorgio Armani. All these wonderful Gucci. This is what was going into Russia. Private. So the McDonald's and things like that was to entice the younger Russian. The kids, the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Into McDonald's. Oh, loving it. Oh, they're dead cheap. Coke, dead cheap. So that was the nuance of it. That was the start of it. Because then the businessman, there was a fella by the name, whether you've heard of him or not, one horrible man. A fella named Bill Browder. He went in with it and he was getting all the resources out of Russia. And Putin, when he became president, he was looking at everything and he's going, whoa, this is wrong, that's wrong, what's this fella doing? Taking all the resources. A fella named Bill Browder. You see Bill Browder on the telly today. Because I wanted to know who he was. This is before the SMO. And I looked him up. Hates Putin. Hates Russia. He said, my businesses went through that man. All this. There you go. Now, you've heard of a fella named Navalny. Do you know that Navalny, I've got more followers than Navalny, honestly. Well, I haven't now because my Facebook's gone. He has over 3,000 followers. He didn't have that many following him in Russia. But America tried to make him a big hero. And they were saying, where did he kill them? Putin killed them. Well, that was just being debunked anyway because he died of natural causes, the man. But he was a traitor to Russia. And they gave him the chance. He was out of Russia, but the CIA gave him like 12 million quid or whatever. He said, get in there and stir up a colour revolution, what you call a colour revolution. And he went in and he got locked up and got jailed. So it just became a farce. Incredible what the West is doing. We can't talk. Most probably I'll get banned or get called a traitor. And I'm not. I'm just giving out the truth of what's happening. Look, today, there's violence in our streets. Violence in our streets because of what I've just said. You know, people are saying enough's enough. Enough is enough with these politicians. But one thing they're forgetting is that the Tories, all of a sudden the Tories are there, you know, Starmer's only been in a minute and they're blaming him for everything. The Tory, this was the little gate opening and the path led by the Tories to the barn door, and the barn door opens and Starmer walked in. And he's getting all the flack for everything. The Tories as well. You can't forget them. You can't forget them. Please don't forget them. So this is what you have. You have lots and lots of, there's loads of bloody things. Loads of it. Now today, Misty A. Misty A. Hello, Misty A. What a name. Hi, Misty. Anyway, it's one of these things when you see, I was looking at, I don't watch our news programs anymore. I was watching YouTube, and there's our news programs and papers blaming Putin, Russia, for what's going on in this country. Think about it. What's going on? They're blaming Putin and Russia for hacking into social media. Have you ever known that, like, this is the Russophobe that's going on? Not just in this country, but also throughout the Western world. Russophobia. They're blaming Russia for what's going on, for the violence and everything else in our streets. IBR Stella. Sabatian Frankists pull the puppet strings. Everyone pulls the strings, to be honest. Everyone. It's just a Misty I love this show. Thank you, Misty. Thank you. You love this fella even better. Even if Frankie, look at all the bees and scotches. And, he's got me an alcoholic. Oh, as they say in Italian, Misty, mille grazie, cara mia, mille grazie. Bella, bella. So I'm going to finish now. I'm made up that you have joined me tonight. I really have, because you've got that. Oh, Daz Reynolds. Oh, he was on. I didn't see you there, Daz. Oh, Daz. Big up, Frank. Hope you're all well. Daz. Thank you. Thank you, Daz. Back to normality tomorrow. Back to football. Back to football. But I want to talk about next day, Wednesday. If anything happens, if there's a next Wednesday, just pray, people. Please pray that Iran doesn't retaliate for that strike on Tehran by Israel, because you will have a third world war. I'll give you an example. A nuclear missile that cannot be stopped. It just cannot be stopped. It's that fast. Sent from Russia, sent from there. Let's say there's Moscow there. Let's say just around there, right? To London, there. So say like Moscow to London. A nuclear ballistic missile would take less than 300 seconds to get there. Less than 300 seconds to get there. It can't be shot down because it's too fast. We haven't got anything to stop it. And neither has the Americans. No one has. Now, don't forget, a nuclear bomb doesn't hit the ground. Doesn't go down. There's the ground here. See the ground. Doesn't hit it and then explode. It goes there and it explodes in the air. And as it explodes in the air, it goes right down and spreads out. And if you think that Nagasaki and Hiroshima was bad, these are far, far worse. Do you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. I'll try and give you an example of what it's like. It's like getting in the very first motor car. The very first built motor car. Getting in and sitting there like that. Someone's winding us up. And then you go choo, 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 choo. Chugging along. And someone jumping into a Lamborghini today. Or a Ferrari. That's how devastating these missiles are today, down to the atom bomb and the Enola Gay dropping on Hiroshima. I just hope that you have enjoyed it. Thank you, Misty. for enjoying the show. Didn't even see you there. Thank you. Mille grazie. Diolch yn fawr, have you done your FPL yet? And Zoom on, you'll get to know about it tomorrow night. A little fantasy football thing. It's only like, for us. It's only for us. Be good. You'll enjoy it, I think. Ian Mark, thanks Frank, interesting. Listen that. Thank you. TW, brilliant show, Frank. Thank you. Paul Turner, great show. Enjoyed the different topics you spoke about tonight. Take care, Frank. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Jay, brilliant show, Frank. I haven't took my eyes off the screen. Thank you. Thank you. And Jay says, Nunes will knock it on somewhere else with his head. So listen, boys and girls, I'm sorry about me. Listen, boys and girls, next Wednesday, I'll be doing those murders. I'll do a couple of murders. One in 1 hour and one in the second half. So that'll be 2 murders. Yeah, it is a good one. It's from the vlogs. What year did the Scouse accent start to flourish by? It started to flourish. You've got to understand about all the people coming into Liverpool. Now, as I said, we started to speak with a Southwest Lancashire accent. And when the Irish came over, in 1847, that was the influx of the Irish. And they just went straight to the Scotland Road area because they were predominantly Catholic people. So they went to find the nearest church, Catholic church, around the Scotland Road area. And there you had St. Anthony's Church. So they all went there, mingled about. Then the Italians came over. And they all said, where's the Catholic churches? He said, no, they were all Scousers here in Italy. Where's the churches? Where's the Catholic churches? They went up there for the Irish. So they all settled around the Scotland Road area. My mother's family did. Because any Italians coming over, it all went there. So you had the Irish and the Italians living side by side. Right? Now this is all at the beginning or the end of the 19th century, so coming into the 20th century. You heard the accent was changing dramatically. Because with them living side by side, including the Welsh as well, including the Welsh had they had their own community, and it was in Pall Mall. They had it in Pall Mall, and they couldn't speak English, and they had their own currency made. Little mint they had, so they made that their own currency. Spent their own money. So they had their own little community in the heart of Liverpool. So they started to mix. So you had Welsh, you had Italiano, and you had the Irish. Not be yourself, I'm looking at. So you had these accents mixing along with the Southwest Lancashire accent. And then you had the Norwegians. They came here. They were here. And the Norwegians speak very nasally. And we speak very nasally. You know what I mean? And we do. We speak with a nasal accent. But very nasally. So, it's incredible how the accent evolved at the beginning of the 20th century. The 20th century. Oh, this is the lovely Misty. Take care, everyone. Frankie, occuparsi, mamma mia, cara mia. Wow, wow, occuparsi. There you go. See, I'm always getting occupied. Thank you, Misty A. Out it. Is that the real Misty? That's not you, is it, Misty? Wow. Misty, come back. Join us again. Oh. Nunes for president, says Ali Noose. The vlogs. Oh wow, so they didn't use the likes of pennies, florins or shillings. No, they used their own currency, but they had to change it in the end. Hey, listen, when they started to come into, you're talking the 1840s, so the Welsh started to come in then because they started to build and using the Welsh slate for the roofs. If anyone can remember the old Welsh slate. So that went. But the florins was real silver. Real silver. Good point, though. Very good point. And Norman. All right, Frank. The Geordies also Norwegian. I don't know about Geordies. Oh, yeah, the Geordies. You mean Newcastle up there? Yeah, the Geordies there. Yeah, they went over there. But what you didn't know is why the Norwegians came over in the first place. And they were sent for by an American called Daniel Brocklebank. Because when he came over in 1774, he wanted to go whale hunting. And there was no scousers here saying, yeah, I can catch a few whales. So we had to send for the Norwegians, and they all came over. And this is where we got our lobscouse from. But that's another story. And thanks again, Frank, says the vlogs. And the vlogs and the sixpence, Frank. Yeah. Sixpence, yeah. And the threepenny bit, because there used to be a little threepenny bit as well. Little threepenny bit. All the currencies, yeah. And the most important was the gold sovereign. The gold sovereign. And Norman, Frank, reasons for murder, them sisters, greed, am I right? Absolutely. You were Irish. I'll be doing the things next week. Thank you so much for keeping me company tonight, people. Thank you so much. Football there tomorrow. All football, nothing else. And Stop talking to me. Yeah, what was that other coin? The one with the red on it? That was a farthing. A farthing. That was the lowest denomination. Yeah, I said it. Farthing. I'm going through your history vids trying to find them. Go on heroes and villains. That's what it's on. Heroes and villains, Norman. People have got to go. It's 10:15. Been on since 10 o'clock. I'm dying for a cup of tea. So I'll see you all tomorrow night. Every one of you, hopefully. And we'll all have some football. Again, thank you. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Get me algorithm up there. Okay, thanks, Frank. I'm at the match Sunday. Yes, of course. Good night, Frank. Say the vlogs. I thought the lowest was half a pence. It was smaller than a 5p. No, it was the farthing. Believe me, it was the farthing. All right, people, I've got to go. Thank you so much for keeping me company. And see you tomorrow night, hopefully. Thank you. Good night now. Good night.